Cradle, Dogs of Fount, Chapter 32, Part 3. There was a wide truck bay opening where one of the outlaws was pacing while smoking a cigarette. He had an automatic rifle slung across his back. Nate waited until the man walked out of sight around the corner of the building and motioned for his team to follow him across the street into the side of the base. They all covered the ground smoothly and lowered their center of gravity to cut out unwanted sounds from their boots. They made it to the side of the building and were in a darker alley with shadows covering them well. Nate spoke through his screen instead of vocally. "Lou, take Scott and Gary and breach the rear on my mark," Nate said. "Roger, Ken, Foster, you're with me. We're going in through the front," Nate continued. "Heather, what do you see?" "See a group of 6 walking around some crates and boxes, right through those doors that one outlaw was in front of, but..." "Yeah?" Nate asked. "I think there's a kid in there, like 8 or 10, Heather said. "Is he just a normal kid or an outlaw?" Nate asked. "He's definitely an outlaw. I mean, he's got a gun over his shoulder, but..." "Alright, he's a target. You ready, guys? Break." At that, the two groups split. Lou and his team further down the alley into the darkness, and Nate's team back up to the corner of the building by the main road. Nate had to make the decision to move and hold by the truck bay or wait for the outlaw that was smoking to come back and make sure to take him out so he wouldn't be behind them once inside. He decided not to wait because Heather had a clear shot on that doorway if he came back around that way. "Lou, we're going to breach soon. First shot you hear, you go in too. Got it?" Nate asked Nate. "Yes, sir," Lou screamed back. Nate peeked around the corner towards the bay, and it was bright enough to see that it was clear. Nate waved his hand to follow, and they all moved to the right edge of the bay opening. Nate put his back against the sheet metal siding, knocking a little rust down on him from above. He checked his rifle to make sure the safety was off, and the clip was engaged. "Get ready, guys. I'm going to take a look, and then it's action time. Heather, cover us if it gets out of hand. Don't reveal your presence until absolutely necessary." Nate snorted out his nose and quickly stuck his head out to look into the interior of the factory. He pulled back a moment later. There was a large open area with mostly junk and old mechanical parts along the walls. More towards the center, though, there were gun and ammunition crates and boxes that may have carried the grenades Lou had mentioned. Nate also got a count of 6 outlaws too. The kid had to be a preteen and was definitely packing a weapon. Nate could sense that Heather was going to get some feelings caught up in this operation, so he decided if he could, he'd be the one to take the kid out just in case she had to. "Foster, Roger, follow me in. We'll take out the 3 on the right. Ken, you take out the left. Scott and Lou, assist Ken with the ones that are going to be to your right." "Got it," Lou answered. Nate peeked back around and then breached the door. He aimed at a bald outlaw with a pot belly and fired 3 rounds. He folded the man by 2 in the chest. Then the pops multiplied. Nate caught a blurry glimpse of Lou and his team coming through the green doors in the back and aiming their weapons. Nate skittered behind the cover of a concrete column and was drawing fire. He stayed in place as the bullets were chipping the concrete and spitting the chunks his way. After he heard a few exchanges, he looked around the column at the last exchange. He saw the problem. An outlaw in all black had cover behind the incline of a cement ramp that also had a red railing for even more cover. The thing was, he was running interference for the kid to take shot at all of Nate's team and Lou's team. The adult outlaw was opening it up for the kid. Now, Nate didn't have a good shot on the man, but the kid he could easily take out. If he did that, the other outlaw would be truly outgunned. However, even though Nate knew Heather had the shot and was probably going through what he was going through right now, it was just too clear. He didn't know if he was ready to take on this responsibility. The kid didn't even see him. There couldn't be a better shot. Nate peered out and lined his eyes with the sight, the red dot over the kid. He closed his eyes and counted to 4 like some jam musician. He opened his eyes, adjusted, and shot the kid through the head. He went back in cover and heard the firestorm of his squad taking out the screaming outlaw. "Thanks," Heather texted. "I got you, girl," Nate responded.